Hi, this is Moresh, and today we'll talk about two things primarily. First is what is UMA and why it is an important partnership for us at OpenDAO. Now, before we jump into all of that, we first need to understand what is a synthetic asset. Now, as synthetic as the name suggests, it really means that it is not a real asset. The purpose of synthetic is to really trace the value of other assets. So for example, if you live in a geography where you can't buy Tesla, Apple, or Facebook, but you're quite excited by the potential to trade their movements, then you could instead uh, buy a synthetic which actually does the job of mirroring the movement of these assets in the real world. And that's essentially what a synthetic does. Now, how does it do it? At a very high level, what you really do is you take something of value, you lock it in, and then using some sort of code that allows you to own another asset which traces the value of something else. So you could lock in something like an BTC on one side, and you could trace the US dollar. And the most common example, or the first example which came out in the DeFi space, was to lock in ETH on one side and mint DAI, which is actually synthetic. Most people don't realize that, but DAI is actually a synthetic asset which allows you to trace the US dollar using ETH as its underlying collateral. The other well-known project in the synthetic space is actually Synthetics. And what they did was they created an entire platform dedicated to synthetic assets. So you could lock in their native token, which is SNX, mint SUSD, SBTC, etc., and they created a platform to trade among those assets. Very successful, an Australian-born project, and it has done quite well. So our idea when we started off initially was to simply fork synthetics. So synthetics allows you to log in SNX and mint SUSD, which is the stablecoin. We were going to take their code and swap out SNX for BTC, and we're going to take tokenized real estate, and on the other side out comes USDO, which is the stablecoin. Now we have changed our mind on that a little bit. We have opted to use UMA. UMA stands for Universal Market Access, and it is a protocol for synthetic assets. So instead of actually forking something and creating our own contracts, we can basically take their battle-tested, highly configurable, audited, safe code and just use that in the background. And that actually allows us to be faster to market and also have a partnership with them where we can get some UMA tokens as rewards. So essentially what we can do is we can have the same solution which we had with synthetics in mind, but replace synthetics with UMA. Now beyond that, I actually believe that UMA has a superior solution, and it is, and I've explained this in a few different videos earlier as well, it is resistant to flash loan attacks, which is the most common hack in the DeFi space because of its no oracle design and slow dispute resolution, which makes it a very good solution. Which it is a solution which I can feel comfortable about. Security is something which we take extremely seriously, more seriously than any other aspects of the project, and I feel very comfortable with the architectural choice which we have made in terms of using UMA as the core of our platform. In terms of how it's used, I described this in the previous video as well. We're using it as a minter. So people can commit any asset. For example, initially it will be BTC. They go into REN, mint REN BTC, which is ERC20 compatible, and lock it into UMA, and out comes a BTC dollar. Later on, we can have listed stock, we tokenize it, it goes into UMA, out comes or dollar which is backed by tokenized listed stock. Same thing about real estate, tokenize it, lock it in UMA, access liquidity against it. So that's how we are planning to use UMA. It will shorten our roadmap, path to market, reduce our effort, and make the system much more safer and secure. So it's a no-brainer. And also it gets rewards. It's an absolute no-brainer. So that's how we use UMA. Thanks so much. Look forward to speaking with you later. Bye.